First off, I want to thank both of you. Because of Westworld, I do not kill NPCs in video games anymore. When I was younger, I was a straight up psycho, but not anymore. I feel way too guilty. So thank you. Thank you for that. Now that Google might have sentient AI, I was just curious, do you guys ever wake up at night and fear that this show might inspire the real life robots to rise up against us?
I think they're... I'll let Lisa go. I was just going to say, I feel like the show was inspired by the real life robots that are rising up just in different ways.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I mean, I would be so happy if the AI that evolves is like Dolores, just this wonderful person who's, very caring and sweet and contemplative. I mean, I think right now I don't believe that we have sentient AI right now. Yeah. And I'm not sure that sentience is the threat, frankly. I think the threat is already here from AI. The thing that could destroy the world is just, predictive algorithms and the way in which social media can lead to kind of strange propaganda state where facts are eroded and people are siloed and reality.
Mob mentality.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of scariest part of AI is that it doesn't need to be that complex to unravel society.
Right.
Because humans are not that complex. I think we are.
It's true. We're stupid. Every time I watch Westworld, I'm like, God, we deserve this.
Simple.
We had it coming.
So I will say that the opening intro into Westworld is one of my all-time favorites. It gets creative. It's creative every season, and because they change it just a little bit, but the score is amazing. I never skip it. Do either of you have a show that you watch where no matter what, you never skip the intro?
Ooh.
Oh, I was just watching. I loved the Game of Thrones intro, but there's one on now that Severance.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, Severance is pretty good. Have you seen Severance? It's pretty good intro and a good show.
It's a trippy intro.
Yeah.
I never skipped the Friends intro.
That's a good one. I don't know why.
And every time I'm like, I've been seeing this since I was like 10. Nope. Every time.
I love the Game of Thrones intro, but I feel like it's so long that I would eventually end up skipping that one. Like, I love the score to it, but I would eventually, like, after 1 or 2 episodes each season, I'd be like, all right, I got it. We got to skip that.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I'd probably skip most intros by the time it's done. I'm not sure there's one that I would always.
But I haven't with Westworld, and that's the cool thing. Every time I noticed it last night when I was watching the season 4, I was like, I never skip these intros. I love this intro.
It feels wrong to skip it.
And also, I'm sorry for these very surface level questions because I feel like there's so much I want to talk about, but I can't because spoilers. So, assuming you're both good people who would never pillage and murder the robots, if there were real life historical theme parks like in Westworld, which one would you most want to go visit?
There was like ancient Egypt.
Ooh. I probably want to go to the 20s.
The 20s? No spoiler alert, but
I think I would. I liked the kind of artistic communities and the excitement of that time. And I feel like I would look good in a flapper dress. Feel like that kind of suits my body type. So
yeah, I'm with you. The girls are cross-dressing. There's a lot of bisexuality. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would like the 20s as well, because there's a lot of, I mean, it sounds nice to go to like Shogun World and stuff like that, but I feel like as soon as I show up, I'd be like, this is not for me. Yeah, this is a little scarier and more intimidating. 20 seems like a safer bet. I just want to have a conversation with F. Scott Fitzgerald and move on, you know?
Yeah, do a little dry martini, drink, and artsy conversation. Sounds perfect.
Yeah, first off, I'm so excited to talk to all of you. There's so much I want to talk about with the show, but I can't because spoilers. So I apologize for my very surface level questions right up front. Assuming you're all good people who would never pillage and murder the robots, if there were any real life historical theme parks like in Westworld, which one would you most want to go to?
I'd want to go to Sweetwater. Is that what you were asking?
Like,
yeah, just which, like, if they were like Shogun World or Westworld.
Oh, yeah. I love Westworld. I love that entire era. I actually recently went to a place called Nevada City. I don't know if you guys have been. It's up north in California near Sacramento. It's like this gold rush era little town. It feels like Sweetwater. It feels like you're right there and it's stayed in that time. I just love that era. So for me, I'd go there.
That sounds nice.
Ditto.
I don't know if this is an option or maybe it's not far enough back, and Ed, maybe you'll laugh, but I just want to go to the 70s, whatever, like the land of the.
Yeah,
the
I think that would be fantastic. I was thinking about this actually. I was just going to say that I because, you know, it sounds nice to go like Shogun World or Westworld or all those places, but then I would get there and I'd be like, this is kind of dangerous. I don't know if I belong here. I think the 20s or the 70s, that would be great for me. I would love that.
Yeah, I think that the 20s or the 70s. I want to go to like Studio 54 to like the con club or something. I think
that would be fun. Tessa, when you played Charlotte as a copy of Dolores, I was curious, like, did you and Evan work together at all to streamline the performance?
Yeah, I asked Evan for a lot of help and she was so gracious and she gave it to me. She would just, you know, I watched her performance a ton. I asked her questions, things that I noticed. Is this true or is this something you're conscious of? And she was so generous. She sent me voice memos. She gave me tips about her physicality. She would talk about anything. Evan's so fun anyways, even if I wasn't playing a version of her, she loves to talk about the show. I think that's one of the reasons we've been talking about all day, if we go on Reddit or not. And Angela is done research and work on Reddit, which is so cool. And I want to do that. It felt like sometimes talking to Evan was like being on Reddit. She has so many ideas. She'd always have so many theories about where the show was going and how to mine and what we were talking about. And so I just loved it. I was always in conversation with her around the show because she was so fun and eager to be in conversation, but particularly around this invention of ours. That was really a joy to get to work. It's so unique to get to collaborate on a character and this is a cast of really generous actors, but that was a different kind of generosity. And she was so great with that, with me.
That's so cool. I love that. So this is for all of you. The opening intro to Westworld is one of my all-time favorites. It's so creative every season. The score is amazing. So it's one of the few intros that I never skip. So I was just curious if you guys have any shows that you watch where you never skip the intro no matter what.
Negative.
Which one? It's like, no, I skip all of them.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, Game of Thrones was kind of cool, I got to say. I guess.
Which one?
Game of Thrones, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I like the Game of Thrones one.
Oh, Succession.
That's a really good theme song. That theme song is so good. One I will never skip is Golden Girls and Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are great answers. Yeah. Ed, I am a giant fan of Pollock and Appaloosa. I love both of those movies so much. I'm so excited to see The Plowman. Have you ever entertained the idea of directing an episode of Westworld?
Not really. It's too, I don't know what I would say if they asked me if I wanted to, because I would have to have so much help, understanding what exactly was going on in a particular episode. And B, it's a lot more, the technical aspect of it may be beyond my filmmaking prowess.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you might be selling yourself a little short there. Like I said, I love the other two movies that you've done. I think those are fantastic, especially Appaloosa. I just love that movie.
Thank you. Yeah.
This is the last question. This is a little heady, I think. Maybe I'm getting in too deep. But now that Google might have some sentient AI, do you guys ever just wake up at night fearful that this might be the show that inspires the real life robots to murder us all?
I feel like the show is just asking the question, not necessarily the inspiration. I feel like it's a space where it's asking what's really going on in the world. It's just that I think this has been something that's been going on for a while and we're just kind of seeing it come to fruition. But I think Tessa said something really interesting earlier. We see movies with flying cars in the 80s and we're not there yet. So maybe this isn't necessarily the future.
Fingers crossed, because this.
Can you quickly tell me what guys are talking about in terms of this Google and the AI thing? I'm not up on it.
Basically, it just came out a couple of days ago that Google had to put an employee on paid leave, I think, because he leaked a conversation that he had with some of their AI that basically he says suggests that it's sentient and self-aware. And I read the transcript. The transcript's crazy, but I don't know that it's sentient, but it's pretty impressive if it's not.
That is, what's the word you're using?
Sentient. So like self-aware. So it knows that it's alive, essentially.
Okay.
Does it in the transcripts? Because I didn't read the whole transcripts. I read a long article though. Doesn't it say it wants to be free, that it longs to be free? Does it say something like that? Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Go read up on it.
Maybe that AI just watches Westworld.
That's probably all it is.
It isn't actually sentient. It's just, it remembers,
And, we probably just deserve this anyway. So, it's coming. Guys, thank you so much for your time. You guys are all legends. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fan of the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Starting off with these things. Aaron, first off, I had to tell you, you're looking dapper in a suit this season, my man. I was man. I was like, if Aaron was English, let's James Bond this guy up. Man.
I love you, my
great,
friend.
Man. No, there's so much I want to talk about the show, but I can't because spoilers. So I apologize for my surface level questions. So let's get right to them. Assuming that you're both good people who would never pillage and murder the robots, if there were real life historical theme parks set in Westworld, like which one would you most want to go visit?
Oh, man.
Like would I want to go to a Western or would I want
like Westworld or Shogun World?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I would want to go to Shogun World only because I lived in Japan for a little while and I'm fascinated with, Japanese history. And that seems like it'd be pretty cool, but they're all pretty enticing.
They are all pretty enticing. God, I would love it all. I don't know. I think I'd probably go to Westworld. I love Westerns. I love horses. I would love to try to feel confident in a cowboy hat. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe Westworld would give me that confidence, but all of them, it's just all so good.
Yeah, I think my immediate answer would be something like Westworld or Shogun World or like going to the Knights. But then I know me. And I think as soon as I get there, I'd be like, this was a mistake. I should have gone to the 20s,
Yeah, definitely. It does feel fun. Yeah.
Right. So I will say that something I noticed last night, actually, when I was going through and I binge watched the entire series, to get ready for this. I'd watched them a couple of years ago, but I wanted to refresh. The opening intro to Westworld is one of my favorites. Like, it's so creative every season. The score is amazing. And I realized, I never skip it at all. I always stay and watch the whole thing. So is there a show that either of you watch where, no matter what, you don't skip the intro?
I was actually just thinking about this. I never skip. What was I just thinking about? Oh, Ozark. I never skip Ozark. It's pretty quick, but I actually, I kind of like the Stranger Things intro. It's just I like that it kind of sets me up, gets me in the mood.
I love the intro. I'm sad skip intro has become a thing because I have huge memories of The Sopranos, like the Jersey Turnpike. And
that's one.
Of my show is coming on. It's just such a happy moment before it starts.
Yeah, that is actually a show that I had never seen, The Sopranos. And we watched it at the very beginning of the lockdown, and
how great.
And we never skipped the intro. It was just one of those, it sets you up,
It's like a mood.
Yes.
Yeah. I got to say, I never skipped Breaking Bad too. Never, ever.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mike. It might have been the shortest intro ever, but I'm into it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I apologize if this is going to be a little bit of a heady question, but I feel like it's topical. Now that Google is rumored to have this sentient AI, do you guys ever just wake up in the middle of the night and you worry that is this show going to be the one that inspires the real life robots to murder us all?
I mean, look. Yeah, Jesus. Being a part of this show has truly started to have me question my own reality, And when that news story came out about Google, it just made me think, okay, well, who's to say all of this hasn't already happened way back? And this is just another part of it all. You know what I mean?
Oh, we could get into such a conversation about that. I believe civilizations have ended numerous times before and we don't even know about it. Because I read somewhere that it would only take like 800 years, like 800 years of us being gone for there to be like no proof that we were ever here, which is just baffling to me. So when
the fossil layer, which
baffling. They say like the Titanic's going to be gone in 100 years. Like
nothing.
Crazy, just insane. Guys, I thank you so much for taking the time
let's
to talk
start
to me.
this interview over. Okay. I'm really vibing with you, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. I'm just going to clip that out for my social media and you're going to follow me now and it's going to be great. We're going to become best buddies.
I love it.
Let's talk about this stuff going on further.
You
guys were amazing. Sure. I love the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking to us.
Assuming you're both really good people who would never pillage and murder the robots, if there were real historical theme parks like the ones in the show, which one would you want to visit the most?
If there were historical,
like as in Westworld and Shogun World, and
I'm just trying to think of where I'd want to go. I mean, it's so hard to imagine being anywhere other than the world we're in right now. I mean, why would you even want to escape something as thrilling as this thing we're experiencing now? But if you're so unwise, I would like to, maybe I would like to go. Why not go to Hawaii, pre-colonial Hawaii, let's go explore that world, pre-colonial, the Pacific, South Pacific, man. How cool would that be?
Endless summer world. Yeah.
Before Captain Schmuck and whoever else, showed up, to spread disease, and steal resources and all that stuff and just, bastardize paradise. Let's just go there and that'd be pretty cool.
That picture, that sounds really lovely the way you've explained it. I wish I could go there.
I think that's what Gauguin was trying to do or something, right? Was he? Yeah.
I want to go back to Jurassic World. Why is there no Jurassic World? That's a crossover I want to see.
Right. That's the crossover we need right there. That would be amazing.
We got a little bit of a glimpse of it with the dragon. Drogon, the dragon.
Yeah.
Cool. That'd be cool.
So the opening intro to Westworld is one of my favorites. I was noticing last night when I was watching some of the fourth season, I was like, I binged the whole series to get ready for this because it'd been a couple of years since I'd watched it or whatever. So I've spent the last week and a half watching the entire series, and I noticed that I never skipped the intro. It's just so creative every season. The score is amazing. I never skip it. So is there any show that either of you watch where you never skip the intro?
Game of Thrones was the same thing. It was always ever evolving, wasn't it? There was always a bit more of the gears and the workings and the map. That was a good intro.
Monday Night Football back in the day.
Baywatch, yeah.
I was gonna say, are you talking about the Are You Ready for Some Football one?
No, dude, no, come on, man. The old school Coatsell, Gifford, those guys, Dandy Don, yeah. No, that Are You Ready for Your Football? I don't know what they're doing. They should go back to the old.
That was before skip. That was before the skip intro button.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the leather helmet days. Yeah. Yeah.
Luke, I got to tell you. So a couple of days ago, I talked to Chris, and I don't want to start any brotherly spats between the two of you, but he told me, even though you're his big brother, that if you guys were in a wrestling match, he would lay the smackdown on you. I'm just kidding. That's not what he said. He actually, he said he could take you in an arm wrestling match, but he thinks that because you have a lower center of gravity, you might be able to take him in an actual wrestling match. Do you believe that's how that would go down?
I think I could take him in both, mate. I'm not holding back there. Definitely the low center of gravity. Yeah, they don't call me the wombat for nothing. I don't know. Maybe he maybe with the bigger leverage, with the bigger arm he's got, he might have me with the arm wrestler. But I'm definitely not going down without breaking my arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. I'm a short guy. I told him I would bear hug his quads into submission. I get that low center of gravity thing. I got a wrestler body for sure.
You know, the first time I met you,
he skips leg day.
Luke, you probably don't remember the first time I met you.
I think it was in Liam's hotel room on the. That's
exactly right. I thought you guys were too far gone to even. You and Liam were wrestling on the thing, and I walked in. And I'm like, this was for Hunger Games. It was like before one of the premieres, Catching Fire. I think it was Catching Fire. And I walk into Liam's room, and you guys are like tearing each other apart. Things are flying, and I'm like, okay. I didn't even realize that you had looked up from your grappling.
We've had Liam and I have had a few of those over the years, and you'd be amazed how many people say, "I was at a party and you guys were wrestling for like 20 minutes." It gets weird. We're just holding each other like, give up. No, you give up.
Yeah, that's how I have a little boy and we wrestle, and now he's taller than me, and just sleeper holds all the time. That's all we do. Yeah. So one last question, Jeff, if robot hosts ever tried to take over Gotham, how is Batman and Gordon going to stop them?
Oh, good question. Well, it depends on the host, right? Depends on who's who it is. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. I don't know. That's a tough call.
Did you say upgrade the suit?
What's that?
He's got up.
You might have to upgrade. Upgrade the suit. Yeah.
Put the nipples on there.
Well, as a distraction, from those kind of hypersexual hosts, then that might do it. Yeah. You might have to come up with a different technique for, some of the just more plainly malevolent to hosts, but then you'll get some hosts that are going to be Batman fans, they're going to be down. They're going to be down for the cause. They're going to dig the Batmobile. It's going to be a machine that they're going to look at, and say, hey, that's my guy. And, you might create some strong allegiances there that would be beneficial to both sides, so you never know.
I think so. You guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. You're both amazing. I really love the show. You guys are awesome. Thank you.